Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Some interesting stuff happening in the cryptocurrency space, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Joseph Lubin is the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Consensus, and he is optimistic about Ethereum's future. Being a billionaire, Joseph is an influencer and is actively driving Ethereum to the masses. Through Consensus, which serves as an Ethereum studio, Joseph owns a majority of Ethereum. Obviously, now that markets are recovering after last year's winter saw his studio restructure, subsequently laying off staff, Joseph projects Ether's value to increase by 1,000x in the next 2 years. He said that while delivering his keynote at the South by Southwest SXSW in Austin mid last month. If it's the case, then Ethereum is grossly undervalued, more so if we factor in the prospects of Ethereum 2.0 and how it will shape the platform's speed, efficiency, and security. At Consensus, Lubin said his team is getting started at a stage 0 in a 4-phase journey that will take 18 months to execute. If these developments that will not only fuel demand for Ethereum as a smart contract platform, but as more businesses launch their project beneath a secure and trusted platform, then the network will gradually evolve into a global settlement layer. For those who don't really understand part of that over here, Ethereum for a while was touted as the brainchild of the cryptocurrency space. It was going to be the new Bitcoin. People believe that at some point Ethereum was going to pass by Bitcoin to become the #1 coin. And people believe that this was because of the smart contract platform that Ethereum has, and also because of their promise that they had before to be able to upgrade and update the Ethereum platform to over 1 million transactions per second. And with this 1 million transaction per second promise that we had about 2 years ago, we had many countries. You can even Google this. If you Google Russia Ethereum laws, or like blockchain, or like something with Russia or countries and Ethereum somewhere in that, in that search function, you can find that there are still many countries right now who are writing their laws on Ethereum, betting on Ethereum, not like actually like throwing dice and betting on it, but actually like they believe that this is going to be a worldwide global platform. And also, for those who don't know, if you look up the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, you actually look at the people who are backing Ethereum, who have promised to write code on Ethereum, who have promised to write their laws on top of Ethereum, or pretty much even mega companies and banks who planned on using Ethereum as a base for their own projects. It's immense. So the idea is that eventually Ethereum over there, where is it? Can't find it. Of course I can't find it. It's numbers and I can't find it. Over the next 18 months, it says it's somewhere around here. There we go. Right. Of course I find it after 18 months. This is the time frame that we've been given, in a 4-phase journey that will see Ethereum upgrade to new heights and be able to handle 1 million transactions per second. Joseph Lubin believes that Ether's value is going to 1,000x. Unless I'm mistaken, at the current moment, I believe Ethereum's price is around $178, and just for the giggles of it, let's say a square price of $200. And unless I'm mistaken, unless my numbers are off, unless I don't understand what 1,000 and an X means, this would then put the price of Ethereum, his words, not mine, I'm reading what's off the screen, anywhere from $175,000 to $200,000 per token. Right. And the crazier part is that this number doesn't, I've looked around as well, this number doesn't even sound that crazy, because around that time, people are also saying that Bitcoin is probably going to be over $1 million, or at some point we're going to see a $5 million Bitcoin, if not a $10 million Bitcoin. And if you have Ethereum in that mix, this is kind of, this is all in a multi-trillion dollar cryptocurrency world. However, when I read this and when I was looking around for an explanation, do you understand what that would entail? That would mean if you put, this is not financial advice, if you put $1,000 into Ethereum, let's say you roughly got 5 Ethereum, and in 2 years the price of 1 Ethereum was 200,000, you would have made $1 million from that $1,000 that you put inside of it. He said, the Ethereum ecosystem has the diversity, expertise, and momentum to get this done well and quickly. It takes an enormous amount of work and network effect to build an ecosystem, so that by that time, Ethereum's ecosystem will be orders of magnitude larger than the other two, and will already have strong scalability at layer 2. A lot of people also think, and bear with me on this one, I mean, it's not unbelievable, so don't bear with me at all. The idea is that Ethereum, this is why we have so many other coins who talk about being like the Ethereum killer. It's mainly EOS, Cardano, and Tron who are kind of gunning for that position. The idea is that Ethereum has the momentum, Ethereum has the money, Ethereum has the name behind it. Wow. Ethereum has the names behind it. There we go. And that at some point, should Ethereum also rise in price enough, it will also be seen as a stable currency and could also be used as an actual worldwide currency itself. No one knows if or when or if that's going to happen. It's still very exciting. Here's a little chart here, and then they talk about Ethereum's price going up. The most significant part out of all of this is that he expects Ether's price to increase by 1,000x in the next 2 years. I myself have been a believer for Ethereum for quite a long amount of time. We have some bad days. Sometimes I don't call it. Get a little upset with it. But I do believe that Ethereum is going to be major. However, that does not mean that I think that Ethereum will be the end-all. I have definitely placed bets on some of the other Ethereum killers that we have out there. But it would be a little insane to think. Like, imagine having an Ethereum or an Ether, and it goes up to $176,000 in just 18 months. That's kind of insane to think about. It's also even weirder when you actually have the co-founder of Ethereum stating that himself. Like, you normally don't get the, like, there's never been a moment where, what's his name? Brad Garlinghouse has sat on stage and he's like, yeah, we're going to have a $500 XRP soon. You better buy some. We've never really had, I guess Charles Hoskinson has kind of said it. Charles Hoskinson said at one point that he thinks that the Cardano blockchain is going to be worth over $1 trillion. I guess he's kind of also said it. I don't know. I find this very exciting, in my opinion. And you know what? We've been friends long enough. I'll let you guys in on a secret. When I buy cryptocurrencies and when I invest in cryptocurrencies, I always use like a really weird metric, and it kind of comes down to the fact that like how much I can pull out or how much I can take out of it. You know, not a significant amount of what I have, but just to be able to like buy some, buy something nice, buy a beach house, buy something small somewhere. And the idea of being able to spend $176 right now, is that the actual price of it? There's no prices up here. And then in 2 years, being able to sell an Ethereum and buy a little beach house somewhere is kind of nice. I don't know if this guy is going to be correct. Like I said, rather speculation. Can you imagine a world where Ethereum, 1 Ether, is worth over $150,000? How insane that prospect is. Anyway, I've talked enough about my beach house. Let's move on. Next up, okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. Russia and China are buying up gold, and apparently many people think that they are setting the stage for a gold-backed cryptocurrency. This is suggested by a former EU minister. However, such a scheme would still be inferior to Bitcoin, according to a Russian economist, Vladislav Ginko. So the idea is Russia and China have been quadrupling their gold reserves over the past decade. A lot of people don't understand why. A lot of people don't know why. A lot of people think or are under the assumption that, as it is assumed over the next couple of years, China and India will be the world superpowers, that Russia and China are doing this simply because they are trying to do something. How do I say this? trying to create something that is going to rival the US dollar. We've seen this as not speculation. We've seen talks before, especially in 2018, where people in the United States were having open discussions about things that could potentially usurp the US dollar or things that could be a threat to the US dollar. We also had, for those who were paying attention in 2018, one of the most important and significant parts of the year was, I think it was Congress, where they had 4 people, two were yay, 2 were nay about the cryptocurrency space. And one of the main questions that kept on coming up was, can Bitcoin grow large enough to dethrone the US dollar? This was a very awkward moment sitting there having had that question be proposed. So the idea is that the last couple of years, people have been realizing that Russia and China have been buying up massive amounts of gold and that they could be preparing to create their own digital currencies backed by this gold in order to be able to put pressure on the US dollar. A lot of people, and this is just what I've seen in documentaries and this is what I've seen in other places, when other countries before in the past have attempted to create their own gold-backed currencies, they have been met with heavy resistance and have been told in the nicest way, no, you cannot do this. But now it appears that a lot of countries realize that hyperinflation is something that could potentially affect their countries, and therefore this is why they seem to be absorbing an enormous amount of gold to be able to create a gold currency. However, because we're in the future, it appears that people think that they are going to be doing this to be able to create a gold-backed cryptocurrency, which would kind of be interesting and also be something very strong. However, there are just a few problems. If you actually scroll down right around here, this tweet says, not your vault, not your gold. Here's the chart right here. A lot of countries, for some reason, and I'm not exactly sure how this ended up taking place, a lot of countries, when they do buy gold for their country, they actually store it with other countries. And part of the problem is, I think this happened in 2000, I want to say 16 or 17. It had to be 16 or 17. There was a situation, for those of you who don't remember, Google it, where I believe it was Germany who was trying to get back their gold from the United States, and the US pretty much told them at the door, nope. And Germany was like, where's our gold? And they were like, yeah, it's here, but you can't have it. So I don't understand the policies or the politics behind it, why people do that, why that is a thing. One would assume you would hold your own gold. However, yeah, anyway, most of this comes down to speculation, of course. It's been rumored for a very long time now. It's been not even months, it's been over years, that Russia is going to be creating their own cryptocurrency. We had news before that they were going to be creating the crypto ruble. I think this was the name that was given to it. Now people are speculating that Russia and China have been buying up gold and have been also buying up tons of Bitcoin. No one knows exactly what's happening. However, something is happening because we know that the world's economy is not doing well. It's expected to shrink in growth over the next couple of years. And it's also expected that within the next maybe 18 months, this is what the analysts are saying, that the world is going to go through another stock market crash recession. So yeah, that'll be fun because the last one was so great for everyone, right? Something that I think is very cool before I start, the people from Bakkt, you may not care for institutional investors, you may not care for the powers that be or extremely rich people getting into the cryptocurrency space, but I do commend the people from Bakkt for giving us information, and I mean often, like really, like they make sure that we know exactly what's happening with the platform and everything that's happening with them. It says Bakkt, the upcoming Bitcoin futures exchange from the Intercontinental Exchange, parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, has hinted at a new release day. In an announcement on Medium, CEO Kelly Loeffler said that race day is approaching as the startup awaits regulatory approval from the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, that is the CFTC. She said, as we work through regulatory approvals, we are mindful that the infrastructure we are building has the potential to create more opportunities for digital assets to grow in relevant and trust by being more secure, investable, and useful. As a former marathoner, this point in time recalls a stage in the training regimen where you're putting in long runs with your training team. Race day is approaching and there is more work to be done. I'm proud to be doing or going the distance with this growing team and of the culture we are building while building digital assets into the mainstream economy, end quote. Appearing on Block TV, CFTC Commissioner Dan Berkowitz said he and his team are working very hard on all applications they're reviewing, including Bakkt. Despite several delays of Bakkt's application, the commission is pro-crypto and pro-innovation. And the regulatory rigor, is that a word? Rigor? He explains is about getting the bad guys. He said, we think that these technologies may take some time to develop. In the short term, there may be uses for cryptocurrency and the long-term blockchain. I think we're looking at a process of several years. For those who don't know, people who don't like cryptocurrencies for some reason are very pro-blockchain, and this is why he said, short-term crypto, long-term blockchain. For some reason, people separate the two, and they think that at a certain point, cryptocurrencies just won't exist, and that everyone will just simply be using blockchain. Not exactly how sure I feel about that. However, the point is, it's very, I don't want to use the word comforting, but it's comfortable. No, that doesn't really fit. It's nice to see that the people from the New York Stock Exchange are constantly giving us information on exactly what's going on. I have a very strong feeling, and I didn't really click this together in my head before. We have a lot of other people who are into traditional finance or who were into traditional finance. They have kind of switched sides, and they are very pro-crypto right now. I have a very strong feeling that we have a lot of people who are who are from Bakkt or who are dealing with Bakkt, who are actually very pro-crypto, and they understand and see where the space is going to go. I personally feel, and I'm waiting for this moment to happen, when we do get a date, I expect Bitcoin's price to react. And when the date actually arrives, I expect prices to kind of completely go insane as well, because one of the main things about this is that they're going to be having physically settled Bitcoin futures, which means the Bitcoin is going to be swapped back and forth, passed back and forth. And they also plan on, if I'm not mistaken, creating their own cryptocurrency exchange. They're also going to have, I don't think Bakkt is going to be a custody service, but they're also going to have the whole Starbucks, Microsoft thing, which is another thing entirely. Anyway, it's nice to hear updates from them that we are getting very close, keeping in mind that the CFTC told us or told them or told everyone that they have a 30-day waiting limit to go over the application, to go over all the paperwork. I'm pretty sure we're on day about 72. But better late than never, I guess you can kind of say. To kind of finish things off, we are getting news that more institutional investors are getting into the cryptocurrency space. Where is it? It says institutions have changed their minds over the last couple of weeks, opening long positions in Bitcoin with the confidence to see the market grow. According to the information provided by the CFTC, at the beginning of April, 315 long Bitcoin futures contracts were opened by the CME, or in the CME. This represents an increase of more than 88% over last week and a complete change of market sentiment. Also, it's important to compare data with the counterparty. Short positions dropped from 241 to 89 contracts, which represents a decline of more than 63% in 1 week. For those who don't get what that means, long pretty much means they're betting on the long-term future of Bitcoin. They think that the price has a long way to go. It's kind of the simplest way of saying it, or that the price is going to be going up for a long time. People who short it pretty much are betting against the price of Bitcoin. And this is significant because the people betting against the price of Bitcoin dropped from 241 contracts down to 89, which means that more people are long or are betting for the price growth of Bitcoin than they were before, up over 88% from the last week. It's kind of weird that that's also coming from the CFTC, but I guess it has to come from the CFTC as they approve the CME thing. Anyway, very interesting to note that people are more bullish on the cryptocurrency space over the last couple of weeks. And I think this has to do mainly with Fidelity opening up their thing and people gearing up for the release of the thing from the NASDAQ and from the New York Stock Exchange, with the New York Stock Exchange holding a little bit more weight, simply because I think their platform is meant to be multifaceted. And also they give us information like twice a week. So they let us know exactly what's going on and that they're still working with the CFTC to kind of get everything rolling forward. Alrighty, everyone. That is definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are. Wherever in this world you might be, I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of your support. And yeah, rather, as always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Arthur Yaku, Minting Coins, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Cody, RF Dusty, Richie Rich the Third, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Nicholas One Earth, One Piece, One Love, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Crip Notic, Jeffrey Ramsey, Amy Starsheen, Yasha Harari, Rai Rai, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Carl Birchnoff, Crypto Joe, Gilbo Snake, Shaolin Fried Rice, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, L. Doug, Brady Niels, SC Verzeli, Fine Art, and Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Thank you all an immense amount for your patronage and for your support. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.